like more than others? Because I'm just looking for one that I can kind of film my process, as I'm like doing stuff.
I honestly like that one the most. I use that one the majority of the time. These other two right here are just for podcasts, but I like that one because the height is great and all that. So starting the stream on YouTube right now. That one's on YouTube.
All right.
Let's get this Facebook one set up. Oh. Yeah, man. How's like I said, I want to ask questions, but I don't want to, because I want to wait till the all get set up. But man, how's everything been going though outside of GTM?
It's been good. Just staying busy right now,
Yeah.
Kind of just doing my thing until I have to pick up another part-time gig.
Yeah. So are you working right now, or?
Just doing the art full time.
Okay.
So yeah.
So that's the dream right there, man.
That's the goal, at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Here we go. Let me flip this camera around real quick.
yeah, I did like a little booth a couple weeks ago in Wichita, a little wellness fair kind of thing. So.
How often do you do that?
I just kind of started doing that sort of thing.
Okay.
But-
Because you have no more time now, and.
Yeah, exactly. I have more time to put into it, so
Yeah.
I'd like to go that direction a little more. At least as far as getting your stuff out there, it's a little bit easier to kind of
Yeah.
see the people.
I completely understand that. I know, like when the pandemic happened, man, I was taking advantage of all the extra time, man. I was like, I hope I get my job back, but at the same time, I hope they call me last, which they did. And I was like, man, cause we vacationed a lot, did a lot. It was well needed.
Yeah, it's good. You gotta do a little me time, right?
Yeah, you realize how much time I understand everybody needs a job to get paid, but you kind of realize how much time in the day is spent at work when you can get so much stuff done. Like, especially when you already know what it is that you want to do. Like, there's some people I know that don't really know what they want to do, so work is all they know. But it's like, for me, it's like, man, I know what I want to do, and I can't see myself working for somebody until I retire. Like,
Yeah, you have a passion.
Yeah,
some sense of direction.
exactly. And some people just, I don't know, man. Just some people really just haven't put that thought in themselves. So.
I guess like one good aspect of all the craziness is just spending time with family.
Oh, yeah.
Just a lot more time with my folks and stuff. So.
Oh yeah. Are they're all in Manhattan, right?
Yeah, my folks are. My
Okay.
sister is down in Georgia.
Oh man, what made her move out there? Military or?
Her husband flies for Delta. He got a job with Delta.
Oh,
Because
okay.
they were living in Cali for a while.
Woo! I love California too, man.
Yeah, it's nice.
Dang. So you've only lived in Manhattan and
I lived
Colorado?
in Manhattan, and then I moved to Fort Collins for a little while.
oh,
and then
that's,
I
yeah.
lived in the mountains for a little
Yeah.
bit too. Breckenridge for a season.
Woo, man.
It was fun.
Yeah, those are beautiful places, man.
And then
beautiful.
Florida actually for a year or so down in Vero Beach.
What did you think about it?
Florida,
Yeah,
it's pretty flat.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know it's flatter than Kansas. I
It
just
is,
found
it
that out
is.
recently.
I was like, there's no hills or anything. The biggest hill was the landfill. So.
That is funny.
But it's cool. The beach is nice. Nice
Yeah.
and chill. Different vibe for me. So.
Hey, you didn't go to any nude beaches where you?
No. My buddy builds sandcastles and stuff.
Oh,
so I
okay.
always go and he just like hang out.
Hey.
But yeah, it's cool. I like around here. It's pretty cozy, Got
Yeah.
things, terrain to hike around on, and
Yeah.
just have a lot of time to focus on yourself, doing your stuff.
True. Oh,
It's like the old rural people,
man. I might just have to set this up like that, cause
Hey, improvise.
cause this thing, and I don't want to take too long setting up and not asking you questions.
Yeah, no worries. Do
Okay.
your thing.
And also, if you want to set your artwork up, I have where are they? These things.
Yeah, if it works.
Yeah. some good angles. Here we go. Alright, so we're live. Facebook.
I don't know where you want to put those guys.
Instagram. Right there. Facebook, Instagram, and then you can set the other one up right here. And YouTube.
Maybe stay on. Squirrely little stand there.
So here we go. This is Wade Wanderer, which I wanted to ask you how you got that name.
Well, it's just like the Facebook alias there. I don't think that's gonna stay on. Let's do it.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
But it's actually Wade Christian, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But just the Wanderer because you know I like to travel around and
Okay.
adventure and explore.
Yeah.
So,
Should be a good angle. Oh, that one's blocking though.
yeah. Here, I can set her down.
Alright, that's fine.
Yeah. You know, I like to camp around, backpack, and you know, see the mountains and
So
see the world, enjoy nature.
And out of all the places that you've been to, what would you say is your favorite place?
I think I enjoy the desert.
Oh
the
wow.
most.
So what, like the Southwest?
Yeah, Southwest.
Hey.
I always feel drawn to it, drawn to the beauty. I have a little Southwest scene. It's a little canyonscape
I
going on.
saw that on your website, man. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's when I saw it, like, was at the top of it.
Yeah, there's a few different. Yeah, it's just a sun kind of. Some people could see it as like an eclipse or something like that.
So what is it that draws your inspiration when it comes to like some of your art history and all that?
Nature and hiking around, a lot of it, because I do a lot of landscapes, and so I like to draw from that too.
Yeah.
Then other stuff is more abstract, so obviously it's more of a flow of consciousness, more of like a glorified doodle, if you will. You kind of just not really thinking about it half the time, just kind of letting it go.
When it comes to like abstract, like I've heard that, but like I don't exactly know what abstract means. I know like isn't like abstract and contrast and all that stuff like.
So abstract essentially is you can't really tell. It doesn't. You know, it can be anything for anybody. It's kind of just a mixture of shapes and designs. It's not really anything that you can that's coherent.
Okay.
So you know, it's kind of just a mix. It doesn't even look like a picture. Usually, it's just more of expressive, if you will.
Okay. So let me ask you questions in order now. Okay. Name, age, and where you're from.
Wade Michael Christian. I'm from Manhattan, Kansas originally, and I born and raised here. I grew up in town on Hillcrest Street, close to the stadium.
Oh, okay.
So,
but what he means a stadium, he means K-State Stadium.
Yeah, K-State football stadium.
Home of the Wildcats, because I know a lot of people watching and tuning in are from Manhattan, so.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, they were carrying the goalpost down the street that year that they tore the goalpost down.
Is that what BKU?
No,
is this football?
I was like a little kid.
Oh,
it was
man.
probably in the 90s sometimes. So. They've only done that a couple times, I think, so.
So how was your experience growing up in Manhattan?
It was good. It was good. I think I had the traditional childhood experience, you know, with your friends hanging out.
Yeah. What places did you hang out outside of Manhattan?
Outside of Manhattan?
Like inside of Manhattan?
Oh, I don't know. You know, just biking around the linear trail kind of thing, or hanging out at the park with friends, you know, or disc golfing, that sort of thing. Adventuring around.
What would you say you discovered your talent?
Probably in college is when I really found my love for painting. Cause I kind of just into art growing up.
Okay.
Not a whole lot, just drawing on everything. I was one of those kids that would just be drawing on the work instead of paying attention in class. So.
And what is what college did you go to?
I went out to Hayes at Fort Hays State University.
Okay.
I initially went out there for graphic design, and I ended up taking introduction to painting, and that kind of just got my passion going. I felt like I was like, this is what I should be doing instead of sitting at a computer.
So you went for a different degree, and then you found a different passion.
Yeah.
Hey. So
switched majors.
the process of like graphic design on the computer, like is that, I don't know, would you say it's easier to do it through the computer, or was it just about the same? Or does the computer do most of it for you? Like,
it's just a different medium altogether. Like that's geared towards commercial use, like
Yeah.
people creating products and labels
Okay.
for products and that sort of thing. And
Yeah.
graphic design, like making logos for websites and making websites and
Yeah, like scoot a little closer. But
where painting in a sense is like more of a fine art, like traditional canvas painting, you know. And
so you said you started painting in college, so that means you were probably like what, in your 20s or were you 18?
yeah, probably
19?
19, I think, when I started doing painting there. So.
And like, do you have your first piece of art that you ever painted? And would you say it was good or?
Well, it's the first painting I did was from a still life. So essentially, a still life is like the teacher would set up just this a scene.
Yeah.
Just with like anything really can be a still life. It's just essentially you're painting what you're looking at. Like if I had this water bottle, you know, I could
Okay.
be looking at it. I'd paint the bottle, and that'd be the still life.
Yeah.
So he just had a thing set up on a table, and everybody was painting it.
Okay.
And so my first painting was just a part of the still life, but it was super expressive, you know, with colors and just
Okay.
all crazy looking. I still have it actually at home, so yeah, I still have it.
I want to see that. Man. So like for this artwork right here, is there a certain kind of paint that you have to use, a certain kind of paper, or because like this is all wood? Like
Yeah, with these, it's not on canvas. They're all built from pallet wood,
Yeah.
and I piece them together, and then I sand it down to make a flat surface, and I carve it with an angle grinder.
Wow. So that's how you get the little divots in
Yeah,
there.
that's
like
how
that?
it's all, like
Wow.
all these little grooves, and then
Yeah.
the paint that goes in the grooves is essentially it's an acrylic mixture.
Yeah.
I add Floetrol to it, so
Okay.
the colors don't mix when they're like touching, essentially. So it's kind of
Ooh.
more of a brighter, you know,
Yeah.
contrast between colors.
That is crazy. I just showed them this.
Yeah, and
Stand up.
the frame is all aerosol, so just
Okay.
spray paint cans kind of thing. So.
And then like when it comes to all your artwork, man, you name all of it though, right?
Yeah, they
So
all
what is
title.
this one's name?
Let's look. I don't remember what exactly. It's Canyon Gradient.
Okay.
So it's just the you get the whole spectrum of colors, you know. So it's just kind of
Okay.
made sense to go with the gradient on that one.
So and you said that this was inspired by the desert. Which desert specifically?
Oh, I'm not sure. You could probably see like what is it, like Valley of the Gods there in
Okay.
southeast Utah area probably. You get those canyon lands, you know.
So you've been to Utah before?
Yeah, it's really gorgeous.
See, that's one place I want to go to as well. I want to go to Salt Lake City. I've seen a lot of the mountains. I've seen a lot of scenery on YouTube and whatnot, but like it looks beautiful out there. And a lot of people don't really talk about Utah. Whenever Utah's brought up, it's mainly like Mormons and all that other
That
stuff.
is what you think of. Huh?
Yeah, but it looks like a beautiful state. Like I like Colorado, but like I did some research. I was like, man, the only Western states I've been to is Colorado, and then right over to California.
California.
And
Yeah.
Las Vegas only because of the airport.
Yeah.
But
You
yeah,
didn't
man.
drive through, do that long drive?
No, man, I want to though, but
That desert's
Yeah.
pretty, but
yeah,
be sure to fill up on gas before
Oh,
you
yeah.
start going to the desert.
yeah, true this, yeah,
You
yeah,
start
because
to
they
do
said
that.
it's like nothing for a while, so. And then with this artwork, I
Yeah.
want to show everybody that one too.
This one's Radiant Warmth Layers. This is more of an abstract piece,
Okay.
and so you can't really, not supposed to be anything essentially. It's more of like a doodle, you know,
Yeah.
kind of just a flow of my mind as I was carving it just for fun, so.
So you carve all this stuff out, then you paint it.
Yeah.
So you're telling me, okay, this guy has like two talents in one. This guy's multitasking. So where did you learn how to do all this stuff? Was it like in a woodshop class at MHS, or this is in college as well?
I started doing the carving in Florida. It was kind of just
Okay.
an accident.
Yeah.
Because I had some boards laying around and I glued them together to make a panel.
Wow.
And the first one I actually carved, it was already painted. I had the surface, I did like a fluid art kind of
Yeah.
thing on it. And I carved into that.
Okay.
I was like, this is kind of neat. What if I carved it and like put paint in the cracks? And so I just kept going from there and kept like refining it, make it look cleaner, you know? So
Okay, so are you like a little OCD when it comes to your work?
a little bit,
Like,
yeah.
how long would it take to finish this? And were you completely satisfied with it, or were you just like, oh, I'm done messing with
Well,
it?
we're do the work in batches, so
Okay.
I'll have 30 to 50 pieces I'm working on
Okay.
as a batch. So I do all the carving at
Yeah.
one time of the year,
Wow.
and then I do all the painting in the winter time because it's cold and you can't do
Yeah.
much outside.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, so. But one painting, if I just was to focus on it, and knock it out, I could probably do it in 3 or 4 days if I was
Wow.
just going at it. So.
Okay. So have you thought about putting your artwork in Hobby Lobby or any local places? Like I know that you said, I think you said this off camera, but he just went to Wichita for an art show, right?
It was just a little wellness fair I had a booth set up at. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So would you go to Hobby Lobby and sell your stuff there, or work with more local places as
I'm
well?
not sure if Hobby Lobby sells like artist art kind of
Okay.
thing, but I did have a show in a gallery in Hutchinson.
Mm.
It was at Clayworks over the summer in July.
Okay.
And it's a nice little gallery down there, and they just showed it, had stuff hanging up for a month.
Okay.
So
See, that's crazy because when I first met Wade was we worked together at GTM. Who knows? We might bring up GTM multiple times, but
good times.
so you were a boxer there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you were in boxing, and one day, like you, cause like I know we met when I was over in I did warehouse for a little bit in
Yeah, that's
we,
right.
yeah, we talked for a little bit, and then like I went back to screen print, and then all of a sudden like I didn't see you for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I asked somebody from screen print. I was like, hey, what happened to that Wade guy? Oh yeah, he told me that you quit and whatnot, and I guess the mask policy was you were agreeing with, and also that
Definitely not.
you had I have a lot to say about the mask. So, but
That's a can of worms.
yeah, you're telling me. But they also told me that you had your own art website going up and everything too. Man, I never knew that. You know.
Yeah,
You
little
know,
side hustle.
Exactly, man. Everybody has to do something on the side, man. I mean, like we were saying off camera, man. Just everybody out there, you have to find your passion. You have to find your goal. What's something that you're skilled at, or else you're literally going to be working for somebody for the rest of your life. And you can see people come and go at work, and all that happens is that person gets replaced. I mean, you've got to find a passion, seriously. And this, would you call this a talent or a skill? Because I know that some people will intertwine the two when really there's a difference. But did you always have this artwork in you? Like,
I mean, I had the desire to doodle and stuff. I think the talent can come naturally, but at the
Yeah.
same time, the skill is refined.
yeah.
Like you can only become a master. They say
Oh.
like 10,000 hours.
Yeah, 10,000 hours, yeah.
So
yeah.
it's like if you do something for 6 hours a day for
Mhm.
10 years or something, you're probably gonna become master level.
Master boxer.
That becomes the skill in a
Yeah.
sense. Where talent's more, I think, you
Kind
have
of born
a
with it.
natural
Yeah,
talent.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So, so you already answered the question. So how many years would you say you've been doing it like consistently?
As far as just this recent
Yeah.
body of work,
Yeah.
probably just the last 4 or 5 years I've been getting into the carving. I guess it was in Florida just a
Okay.
few years ago when I started the carving. Because before that I was just doing traditional kind of canvas paintings,
Okay. And then when it comes to like, okay, because I know like this podcast is called Underground Artists, and you're literally like an artist. And, but everybody's an artist in a way, and what I think about it is
I
like,
agree, yeah.
The fact is like for me, like when I think of like lyrics and writing and stuff like that, the artistry of that, like I could hear a word, I could read a word, or like I like for the past like maybe 5 years, I like intentionally put the TV on closed captions to see the words, see how it's spelled, and then like also for wordplay and everything. So like, and that's just the inspiration. Okay, that rhymes with that. Oh, that's how you spell it. That's the word it looks, but it's pronounced differently. So like, for an actual artist, where would you say your inspiration comes from, man? Because I mean, like, for me, it's like hearing, seeing, and but for you, it's probably the same thing, right?
Just a little bit of everything. It's kind of the way I see art in itself is kind of just an expression,
Yeah.
a human expression.
Okay.
So when you're doing your music,
Yeah.
that's your human expression.
Yeah.
And of course, it's different for everybody, but the term art can cover a lot of different
Oh, yeah.
things because
Yep.
not all art is beautiful, but it just people get different things out of different art anyways,
Yeah.
and people like different art for different reasons.
Yeah.
So, but all of it is pretty much, to me at least, is human expression. Because if there weren't any humans around, you probably wouldn't have much art.
Oh, yeah. So with that being said, I also made this Facebook post like it was like a week or two ago. It was like, look around, everything around you is motivational, and like when you actually could see, like I'm pretty sure like I don't know, I find inspiration everywhere, but like for you to actually put this out there like that, and this is like they say a picture is worth 1,000 words or 1,000,000 words, and literally can be, but like you could literally find art in this room and just paint it and find a way to make it look so like astounding and draws the attention of people. Like the more that like I just from sitting here with you for like the past 10 minutes or so, like I'm just thinking of like how creative it could be to just be like an artist, man. Just to, like draw it out and like everything. Like we're looking at all this stuff, but if you actually drew a picture of it, we would look at it way differently. Like I feel like that to me is just amazing, man. I don't know.
It's true, and everything around us
Yeah.
has been designed
Yeah,
essentially, you know, and
exactly.
thought out by humans for
Yeah.
some reason.
So who would you say your favorite artists are? Probably give me your at least top 5.
Top 5 or so. That'd be hard to do. I like David Chung Lee. He's a painter.
Okay.
Who else? There's a bunch. And as far as like past ones, you know, big fan of Jackson Pollock. But
Okay.
he's kind of like one of those people just think of the splatter paintings, but he has a lot more than that.
Okay.
And he was actually, if you get to know his history too, you're like, that guy's kind of messed up. You know? Like real messed up.
Kind of like Vincent Van Gogh.
Yeah, he had some issues too, you know.
Yeah. But they also say that like in every art form, like the people that have gone through the most pain and stuff it just speaks out expressively better. Like, you know, like a lot of artists, a lot of musicians that have been through a shitty past or whatever, they could relate more because they've been through a lot and they could reach out to everybody. So, I mean, some people that have just had like, you know, like quote unquote silver spoon in their mouth their whole life, they
Yeah.
can't really, you know, stuff like that. But
It's hard to relate, you know,
Yeah.
'cause they've always had everything handed to them.
yeah.
Zach Johnson, another painter.
Okay.
And then there's Mario Martinez.
Okay.
A lot of these guys are still alive.
Yeah.
Like modern kind of like visionary painters. They cover a lot of subject matter, just subjectivity, I guess, and
Yeah.
flow of consciousness kind of thing.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a few different ones.
Okay. Because when you mentioned these names, I'm like, I never heard of these names, but I was expecting you to say like
I'll send you some stuff after.
Yeah, I'll
we
check it
talk
out,
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah, you
Um,
would.
and that lady that I met, man, I should link you up with her because she, like I said, she works at Manhattan Arts Center. Who knows? Maybe you guys could network and
Definitely.
do
Yeah.
something, man. You know, so.
Yeah, I used to volunteer there,
Oh, seriously?
doing the
Oh, jeez.
curating the gallery occasionally there. So.
Man, okay, small world. So what do you think about the new artwork that's going around Manhattan? And would you be able to do something like that? Are you interested? Like, you know how like they do like the murals, the downtown paintings, and everything.
Yeah, I think any art in the community is good and
Yeah.
it, like brings people together and adds beauty to the community.
Yeah.
And I definitely encourage that aspect of it. I think we need to have more murals and paintings.
Oh,
And
exactly.
stuff.
Because what a lot of people don't realize about like the artwork is I feel like it like brightens up. And like I see a picture like every time when I go to a city, every time I do a tournament, like we always have to go to like where all the graffiti spots are at. Like
Yeah,
it just brightens up. Like a lot of people like back then, yeah, like growing up in the 90s, like everybody was like, oh, that's shitty, they're destroying the city. No, that's artwork. That stuff is nice. Like St. Louis, a lot of people talk bad about it, but they have a lot of beautiful murals out there, a lot of beautiful stuff. When I went to Oakland, California, my main objective was mainly to see the Mac Dre mural and then the beach. But that Mac Dre mural, just that painting is what I mainly wanted to see. But
There's a lot of good art out there too.
yes, man,
It's awesome.
yeah, it's crazy. And just to do that, like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like all of that stuff would have to, like, if I was to jump into something like that, I think that this would take a lot of patience. And then also spray painting, like, just all that stuff is just like, it's definitely a gift, man. It's definitely a gift, so.
Yeah, you can tell those guys have been using those spray cans for, 20,
Yeah,
30 years. There's the amount
Yeah.
of skill and behind
Yeah.
lines they get. It's like, ooh, blows your mind.
Have you seen the artwork in Kansas City?
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah. They have a good art district.
So,
The Power and Light District and all that.
yeah. So I just asked you about your favorite artists. Would you consider those guys as your influences as well, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think any art or anything we suck in, I think everything's kind of an influence, even if it's subconsciously, like stuff you're not even aware that you're picking up on, but just things you like and things that you find beautiful, essentially, I think is like an influence on you, whether or not it's a coherent influence, directly, but, and then there's other things that are obvious influences, color palettes,
Yeah.
and line work and that sort of thing, so.
So you said if you find it, like, is there any artwork that you don't find any beauty in, or something that you wouldn't specifically paint, or?
I mean, not right off the top of my head, but there's definitely stuff that I'm like, I don't know why, it doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense,
Yeah,
or it's like that art that they taped a banana onto the wall and they're like, this is art,
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So,
But at that thing, it's more conceptual. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of conceptual art where it
Yeah.
just makes you like, okay, it's more of the question, and then instead of about being beautiful,
Yeah.
you know. So
Because whenever I see like a movie and they're always like in a paint gallery or art gallery, specifically in New York, but I heard Chicago has like one of the biggest museums or something like that. Have you been there?
not the one in Chicago. No, I've been to the modern art in San Francisco and in Denver, I think.
Okay, what do you think about those?
Pretty good, yeah.
Did you meet or talk to any of the artists that actually had their paperwork there?
Oh no, I didn't. I just saw the shows that were in there.
So who would you like to work with if you could?
That's a good question. I mean, as an artist, it's just nice to be working with any artist.
Yeah,
You know, I
yeah.
kind of miss being in school for that
Yeah.
aspect because you're
Oh
always
yeah,
you're surrounded by other artists and they kind of like support and give you feedback. Where like now I'm not surrounded by a bunch of artists and it's harder to get the feedback constantly. Where you kind of take advantage of that college setting.
yeah.
Definitely miss that aspect of it. You know,
I definitely agree with that.
because there's a lot of creativity floating around.
So it seems like a lot of people like I've always heard people say Manhattan's the black hole when it comes to like opportunity. I don't know if you've heard that, but I've always heard that. But it's like I don't think people are actually looking enough, or maybe they're just ingraining that stuff in their head, and they think that I got to move to a larger city. Which I've learned, yeah, there's a lot of creative people and creative minds anywhere you go, but in the city there's way more competition and stuff. So damn, I forgot.
And the city tends to
that's right.
have like more of the stuff that's popular, like
Yeah.
the cutting edge, like the newest of the new and trendiness, you know. So
Yeah,
a lot of the big artists will like move to the big cities like LA and stuff
Yeah.
like that, just because that's where it's happening, you know.
so what about the majority of people that do graduate from art school? Like what is lined up for them after that in order to get some income?
That's a good question, you know. It's like you can go and do all this work and go back and do all this work,
Yeah.
and you're still not guaranteed that you're gonna have a job
Yeah,
or gonna be doing what you want to be doing. So you kind of just have to like put in the effort of
yeah,
still producing the work
yeah,
and
yeah,
like entering shows and
yeah.
the process of trying to get the work out there, you know.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
Where I know some people that I went to school with, you know, they go and they have a job. It might be in the art field, like they're a teacher or a
Yeah.
professor, but then they still work on their art on the side, and it's not their full-time job kind of thing.
So are they able to still put in enough time to do their artwork with it, being a teacher? Because I know it's
It's gonna spread you more thin, you know,
Yeah.
obviously, but I mean that's. Some people like the aspect of teaching because you're molding young minds. You
Yeah.
know? So just it all comes down to what
Yeah.
all you want to put into it, you know. So
Have you thought about teaching art?
I have a little bit, yeah.
Where would you? Is there like a specific place that you would do it at, or would you just?
I mean,
anywhere?
just in general, I haven't really thought specifically about
Okay.
it. So.
What do you think about the art scene in Manhattan? Because I know that you just covered like how going to school, even though you went to school in Hutch, right? Yeah.
None Hayes, yeah.
Oh, Hayes.
Yeah, yeah.
I always get those confused.
Or
man.
Hayes,
Yeah,
yeah.
I always get those. What would you say the art scene is like locally? Like, do you wish there were more people, or?
I mean, you can always wish that it'd be more, you know. It's I think it's like a more traditional art scene. You got a lot of good local artists, and there's a lot of landscape work, and it's pretty cool because you have beautiful hills around here. It's
Yeah.
a great place for somebody to paint some sweet hill scenes and stuff like that.
So what would you say out of all the places that you've been to, which place drew the most inspiration?
Definitely in the Southwest. I have a lot of these canyonscapes. That's like one place that I actually, in nature, that I went into. I was driving into Canyonlands, and it
Yeah.
actually like brought tears to my eyes just because
Wow.
of the beauty of the place. I know it's so weird.
No, it's
I'm
not
like,
weird.
no, to me it was.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like, what is happening? You
Yeah.
know, like these weird emotions. It never happens, you know. And then I was like, whoa, you just kind of blown away by it. Never seen anything quite like that, you know.
Especially being in campus.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
I mean,
That's a world difference.
Yeah, I
from here,
know,
you know?
man. There's so much. Like once I started traveling more, I realized like, man, I thought I was motivating, but I was more small-minded than what I thought I was. There's so much more out there, and like, Manhattan is kind of, it's not limited. It's just you don't see as much as you do when you travel. Like when you travel, there's just so much stuff. Like even on the roads, like whenever I hit I-70, man, I just see new stuff, and it's just more inspirational, man. I think of new words, I think of new song titles and whatnot, and just the scenery and people that I see, and it's
Definitely, you know. I also think it's part of, you know, you stay in one place long enough, you kind of get comfortable.
Oh yeah,
And you just
yeah.
like, I'm used to seeing all this all the time. Then you go away for a while, and then you come back, and you're like, there's a lot more to this than I thought. You kind of like re-see the beauty differently, you know.
Man, that's true because I know when I went to California, like I was fascinated. Okay, so I can probably relate to you with crying over. I was fascinated with seeing a palm tree, a real palm tree, the first
Yeah,
time in my life.
awesome.
Like I was at the BART station in Oakland. I was just touching the tree and recording myself touching it, and everyone was like, "This guy's on drugs or something. What's so wrong with him?" Nah, but it's just
Especially you're at the bar, you know, you see all the
yeah,
characters.
yeah. It's literally like there's a lot of things. That's what like I wouldn't say Manhattan is like limited, but like when you're in the middle of the country, you don't see beaches. You don't see palm trees. You don't see. I mean, there's a little bit of diversity in Manhattan due to military, but you just don't see a lot of stuff that you see like in different places, man. And really, like, the only reason people come out here is college or military, and there's really not
It's
any
true,
main
yeah.
attractions, really, you know. So, but yeah. So when you would go to like the Southwest, would you ever paint outdoors, or was everything outside, everything inside?
I don't really do a whole lot of, it's plein air painting, that's the term, painting
Okay.
outdoors. I don't do a whole lot of that.
Yeah.
As much as I'd like to, I definitely would enjoy it more. It's
Okay.
more, that's like a process of having all your stuff.
Yeah.
And people do like watercolors because they can just take a little kit
Okay.
and go and paint outside. But occasionally I'll do like sketches and stuff. If I go camping, I'll take my sketchbook with me.
Okay. Have you ever been on top of a mountain before?
Oh yeah.
What about, would you, I mean, I know it'd probably be hard to paint outside on top of a
Yeah,
mountain,
you definitely could.
but would you ever, like, do you have photographic memory?
A little bit, yeah.
So, like, when you were on the mountaintop, did you think about, like, okay, let me just paint everything that I see right now? Or do you, like, would you take a picture of being on top of the mountaintop? And, like, have you ever painted a picture that you've actually taken a picture of?
Yes,
Yeah?
yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
you just take a reference picture, you know, and then,
Wow.
then you can refer back to it.
Was this a reference picture?
No, that's just kind of,
memory. Just
yeah, I
thought.
just kind of just drew it out.
That's creative,
So-
man. That's creative. I want to show the people this again. YouTube. This is Instagram. Now it's Facebook. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
nice. And what
I
did
do
you?
like it.
2021 is when you finished
Yeah,
this?
this is a new one, so.
Wow.
I just
Both of
finished
these?
This batch this last year, yep.
So how many have you finished? Was it these two all last year, or
I had a batch of around 50 this past year that I
seriously?
finished up in the spring. Yeah, they were all smaller ones. Where
Man.
last season's batch were like bigger
Wow.
pieces. So
So I know one of my friends. She actually just moved to Texas. I think she's an art teacher, but she just finished K State for artistry and all that. And she before she graduated, there was like this big gallery that they did right before they left and whatnot. But she painted me like this. She said there was a printout pictures that they could do as well. Like, is that part of the graphic design stuff you were talking about, or?
yeah, you can make prints from any picture essentially. So
Okay.
it just depends on the quality of paper and
Yeah.
you know, because I know people that do prints, they do recreations. You can buy like essentially if you had a painting that was on canvas,
Yeah.
there's companies that do recreations and they actually reprint it on canvas,
Okay.
and they might even go in and touch up some line work to actually give it texture so it looks like the actual painting but it's still a print essentially. Yeah, it's pretty wild, but you can essentially there's prints for the whole spectrum of prices, whatever you want to pay. So
Okay.
as
So
far as quality goes. So,
with all the artwork that you've done, how many would you say altogether you've done? Because I know you just said you finished 50. So if you've been doing this for
since 2006 or 7 or so, probably a few hundred. Yeah.
That is crazy.
But ever since I started taking it like more seriously this past few years, you know,
What made you take it more
100,
seriously?
200 or so. Just realizing that that's what made me happy.
Yeah.
And also realizing that in my 20s, you know, you end up doing a lot of other things. You have a lot of passions, and you kind of spread yourself thin, but you don't realize it, you know.
Yeah.
Then you get to that point, you're like, this is what makes me happy, and this is what I want to be doing. So then I decided to spend my focus on that instead of doing all these different side things.
Yeah.
Wasting my time and money otherwise. You know.
That's what I'm kind of learning, man. There's this guy that I've been hanging out with, and you know, he brought to my interest. He's like, man, you're doing a lot of great things, but he's like, what's the main thing that you want to do? And like, I realized, yeah, I'm doing a lot of stuff, and sometimes I get so frustrated because I have to accept that I'm spreading myself thin. I got to realize what I'm good at, go from there, excel in that, then bring the other things with me. But yeah, man, that's definitely What other things were you doing besides art, like in your 20s? Like,
A lot of backpacking, camping.
oh, dang.
I went to a few music festivals or music shows, and I would be really into some groups and stuff like that.
What kind of music shows and where at?
I went to Wakarusa Music and Camping. They play. It's like
Where's that at?
it was in Lawrence for
Okay,
a while,
okay.
and it moved to Arkansas. And they actually, I don't think they have it anymore.
Wow.
But it's like a 4-day music camping festival,
Yeah.
and they play, you know, jam bands, folk music, electronic music, and just a little bit of everything, you know.
Yeah.
So
So, did you ever do a country stampede even there in Manhattan?
I went in high school, but I was actually working. I
Oh,
was doing like
yeah.
the parking lot and stuff like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Shit,
I
man.
never went for the shenanigans. You
Yeah.
know, but yeah.
Manhattan lost a lot of money when they lost that, man.
Yup. Moved
Um,
to Topeka.
Yeah. So, with all the artwork that you've done over the time, man, were you thinking about doing like a big like book, kind of like tattoo artists do, like with all of your stuff? Like, would you do something like that, or?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
sometime I'd like to do a book, just with all my sketchbooks
Okay,
and just all the
Yeah.
doodles and stuff together, and then maybe have another book with all the pieces together,
that'll be nice.
or different periods of the pieces,
Yeah.
because then you can kind of see the evolution
Oh,
of the
yeah,
style
yeah.
and line work and stuff.
Yeah, man, I love to keep records of everything. You
That's
really
cool.
realize, yeah, like I'm addicted to writing, man. Seriously, like I write everything, and then sometimes I'll go back to my old stuff. Like even on Facebook, like with Facebook Memories, I'll see something that I made a post of maybe 5 or 7 years ago. I was like, man, that's weird. I was like, I used to talk like that, and now you just see a different evolution. Like, yeah, man, you're right on that. Like different inspirations, what went through your head when you did that, and would you still do that, or how much better you've gotten since then, or do you miss that? You know, what got you out of that style? Yeah. But a lot of people don't do that, man. A lot of people really don't do
It's
that.
good. It's
you know?
good to look back, look back
Yeah.
at your stuff and see where you came from.
Yeah.
Kind of just
Exactly.
you appreciate it a little bit more.
So you do a lot of reflecting.
Oh yeah, I go through back my old sketchbooks and
Yeah.
kind of just like revamp ideas or
Okay.
something, an idea you had, kind of rework it. you
Okay.
know.
So with writing, there's a term called writer's block. Is there like a certain term for people
Oh,
that?
definitely. I think it's just the same sort of thing. It's
Okay.
more just like creative block.
Damn, do you get frustrated when that happens, or?
Sometimes you just gotta go and just like don't really think about it a whole lot.
Okay.
Just kinda just do the work.
So like
Just flow. essentially.
yeah. So like do you draw inspiration from movies you watch as well? Like is there like a certain scene, or like when they do like a big like epic scene, and is there something like on the movie screen that you would like to paint, or?
Maybe it just depends. Not that I can think of anything specifically.
Yeah.
but I'm sure indirectly. I think we're all influenced by everything.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely all,
You
man.
know?
It all gets sunken down in our subconscious mind, whether we think about it or not, so.
I just kind of do what catches my eye and it appeals to me, color wise and
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Are there certain colors that you like to use the most, or is it just they all go together well?
I like to use
They
the
all-
whole spectrum, but I don't
Okay.
use like full bright colors. I usually add a lot of white to my colors, so
Okay.
like more of a pastel.
Okay.
So they're more lighter on the eyes and not as intense, with
Okay.
some, brightness.
Yeah. Do you do glow in the dark paints?
I have used some fluorescent, so if you have like a black light reactants, like some of the colors will pop out under black light and stuff like that.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, pretty cool, yeah.
In your opinion, what makes a great painter?
That's a good question. I mean, I think you really have to enjoy what you're doing. I think it comes back to the passion. I think a good painter is true to themselves, and
Yeah.
just doing what they love because that's what they love, essentially, and not doing it just for, the money.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, there's people that do that. Everybody
Yeah.
wants to like make a living, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You just have to find that balance of passion and like actually just doing the work to make money. It's like,
Yeah.
at what point is it selling out? That's the age-old question.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's the truth. I know, like, everybody would like to, obviously, if you do something, you gotta love it, you gotta have passion in it. But imagine if you got paid for it. Like, it's not like somebody was like, okay, I could, like, this was never a thought in your mind. But hey, I'll pay you $50,000 to do this. No, you eventually got to that point. But then if this did bring a lot of money, you wouldn't complain about it, It's just
Oh,
one of
yeah.
those things, So right now, Man, just if you've done hundreds of paintings, man, I want to see them all. And by the way, before I forget, I want to say, man, your website looks professional as fuck.
Thanks.
Like
I put a lot of work into
super.
it.
You did it yourself?
Yeah, I mean it's
Dang.
through on Squarespace. You know they have nice templates and stuff, but you
That-
choose all the
yeah.
images and fonts and colors and that sort of thing.
Yeah, your website like blew my mind, man. I was like, wow, like that is crazy. What's some constructive criticism you dealt with?
I mean, in college, they kind of teach you to take in all kind of constructive criticism. I mean,
Yeah.
from artists, and you have to know what you like, anyways, and but still be willing to listen to everybody's
Oh, yeah.
idea.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what the most constructive criticism I've gotten is. Probably, you know, people want to have different scenes or they want to see something else. But that always comes down to like what people want to see
Yeah.
specifically. You know.
yeah,
Because I have older styles of work where I would on canvas where I'd paint a bunch and it was just more layers and stuff.
okay.
Some people are like, oh, you should go back and do more of that and this sort of thing. And you're like, oh, maybe sometime, you know. And it's just not the direction you're going with it. So you kind of have to stick to yourself and know what criticism to take and
Yeah.
what criticism to kind of be like, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing my thing, you know. But thanks, you know.
What would you say your longest project was, and how long did it take you?
I had a big canvas in college. It was a 6x7 foot
Damn.
that I stretched and built myself. You could barely get through the doorway. You had to like turn it on its side at an angle.
Yeah,
But I spent over a year painting on that because I had a bunch of different layers, you know, and I just paint over. And so it's super thick and had a lot of depth to it because it was just a bunch of stuff on there. So
do you have all your artwork, or some of your artwork back when you were like at the college that you went to?
I mean, there's people out there that own it. Obviously, I'm trying
Yeah.
to get rid of stuff, but I
Oh,
have
yeah.
stacks of all my current stuff sitting at home, just like
So,
awaiting homes and things like
Okay.
that. So.
so if somebody was to buy this, would you have another copy of it, or would it just be gone?
It would just be gone. I have everything archived photo-wise.
Okay.
So I take care and I started doing a better job of like documenting,
Yeah.
like writing everything down on the inventory list, and
Yeah.
so you can keep track of it better. Where my older stuff, I don't have as good as documentation as I would have liked until you start taking things
Yeah.
seriously. You know, so. But yeah, so essentially I have good quality pictures of the stuff. So if I wanted to make a print of a piece I no longer had, I could make a print of it.
Okay.
So.
Is
But
it?
yeah, it's
you-
pretty much theirs at that point.
Do you get emotional when some of your artwork gets sold?
I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I don't have to like hold on to this anymore.
Hey.
That's the good thing though.
Where would you say your biggest market is for you? Like when you sell online or somebody orders your artwork, like where is it mainly? Is it mainly locally or somewhere out of state?
Mostly these days, it's either friends or friends
Okay.
of friends of friends. You know, it's
Okay.
kind of like it comes down to networking. And
Yeah.
it really does.
Yeah.
Like you can't stress the networking. Like that's a make or break kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like who you know. It really is. So.
Trueness, yeah.
So it's a matter of just putting yourself out there. So if it comes down to networking, just put yourself out there and do the work and
Yeah.
hit the ground running kind of thing. So.
I want to link you over with Chris, man. I brought up Chris in our message, but yeah, he showed me some of his artwork too. And the thing with him is that we worked in screen print together. They kept him in the room by himself, which is why he would have a conversation. Which, if you're watching, well, I need to link you up with Wade. Chris has been doing artwork for years, man, and you know, he's been featured in books. He showed me this book for this guy that was out somewhere in Kansas, I forgot. But he was featured in the book. He's done artwork. He has a postcard as well, and he brought in some of his artwork too, and he left it in Direct to Garment, one of the things. And man, I think he just needs that spark. And I think if you linked up with him, like he could probably give you some great places and some great people to link up with. I as soon as we're done with this podcast, man, I'm gonna message Chris and let him know because
definitely. That'd be awesome.
I'm pretty sure Chris knows some very notable people, man, with all the things that he's done and been. But the thing about Chris is that he acts like it's nothing to him. Like he showed me his artwork, and I was like, man, are you serious? Like I would be bragging about this. He's like, oh no, it's nothing. But you know,
It's just his passion, you know.
yeah,
It's not like
it's crazy though, because it's like I'm probably like that with some of the things that I do too. But then it's like when somebody else sees it, it's like, oh man, this is creative, you know? Like it's crazy, but
it's always cool seeing it from an outsider's
Yeah.
perspective because our own work, we're always humble about our
Yeah.
own things. We're just like, oh, that's cool, you know. And everyone's like, this is awesome. And you're like, thank you, you know.
Yeah.
Keep doing it, you know. That's what I do. So
would you say you're your worst critic?
You definitely, yeah.
Okay.
You gotta be hard on yourself.
Yeah, I know.
Probably too hard.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know how it is. You're
Yeah.
hard on yourself.
Yeah, I know, man. I think it's almost to the point of torture with how tough I am on myself, man. Like,
That's good though. You know, it's makes your focus like
Mhm.
laser focus. You know,
Yeah.
that's what it takes to succeed.
I tell everybody, it's like one of those things. It's like there's some people that don't have direction, or like when a lot of us graduate high school, we're by ourselves. We don't have our parents tell us, "Hey, do these dishes, do something." So we become, we don't have that structure, and like to some people, they need that structure. Some people join the military. Some people go to work. I hate having another grown person tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's
I'm
just
the
weird.
same way.
Yeah, it's just weird. I'm not like trying to be like disobedient or anything. It's just weird. I know what I want, so why should I have somebody tell me what to do when I'm an adult? Like I've done things that, like with your artwork, man. Like if somebody told you what to do, is like, hey, well, that's probably what you did with GTF. You're like, fuck it, I got my own gig on the side. I don't have to, you know. But it's just one of those things. Yeah, man, I just yeah, a lot of people just don't have that self-discipline. And the reason why I gotta say so hard on myself is because nobody's gonna tell me or remind me to do this. I have to do it myself. I have to wake up early and do this before I go to work. Like, you know, it's one of those things. Like, I'm pretty sure you have the self-discipline to draw some paint, some, you know, paint and all that stuff. And what's sad is that there's probably some artists that are out there that are great, but then they lost their passion, they lost their focus.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, I want to paint, but I don't feel like it. Oh, I'd rather just scroll on social media. I'd rather just watch a movie.
Yeah, it's easy.
And, yeah,
easy
and,
to do other things.
And their passion just slowly fades away. It's like this 1 hour movie is not like this. I don't know. Just there's.
So you know that you do. You stick the movie on in the background, and you do your time doing your work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If you want to still enjoy other things, there's a way to do it.
I'm gonna have to fix this on the show you. Or maybe it's this. Yeah, just slide that on.
Am I hiding back?
Yeah. But
But I think for some advice for people like struggling with that is just chip out a little bit of time every day to do what you love, even if it's 15 minutes. If you're doing it every day, you make it a habit.
Exactly.
And so at that point, then it just becomes the thing that you have to do every day.
Yeah, and the thing with habits is that most people have easy habits when it comes to something negative. Like it's like anything that takes effort, like people are afraid of it. It's sad.
It's true. Man.
Is there any of your artwork that you don't like?
I mean, I'm pretty hard on myself, so I'm sure there's some old pieces that I wasn't a huge fan of.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't think there's anything that I absolutely hated. If I didn't really like it, I'd just paint over it. You know?
Yeah.
Or something like that, or just start over.
So how many times have you redone the same artwork until you finally got it right?
I've definitely had a handful that I've painted over a few times.
Okay.
It's mostly the canvas ones where it's more just not set in, like with the carvings, that's already carved.
Yeah.
Essentially, so you can't really go back on the carving. You just can change the colors, but
yeah,
you it's more set, solid. Where a canvas, you can just paint over it a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. So you prefer painting over wood than sheets of paper?
I mean, it's a totally different, style thing. I still like to paint on canvas, and I still do. This is just kind of the little side journey I'm taking because it's fun. I like to use power tools. So.
So would it be called is it freehand? Would this be considered freehand painting or is that what's the right term?
Yeah, this stuff would be freehand
Okay.
because I don't draw it out ahead of time. There's a commission I'm working on right now that's a mountain range in Colorado.
Okay.
And I did draw it out ahead of time because the person had a specific mountain in mind that they wanted. So I had a reference picture that I drew off of, and so then I carved that picture to the best of my ability. So that's the difference, where this one I just kind of did it from, whatever. I just kind of did it for fun.
So, man, would you consider painting Garden of the Gods?
Yeah, definitely.
Man, that place is
gorgeous.
Gorgeous, man, yeah.
Yeah, if you want a commission, you got a picture or something, or I can get some pictures.
Yeah, most definitely, man, yeah.
We can work something out.
So I have 3 people in mind that I'm going to link you up with after this podcast, man.
Awesome.
There's this guy that I met, actually I've known his wife for about 2 years now, but I had no idea he was a painter until I went in the house to help her move a couch, and I saw his artwork. Like, he has his own stand and everything, and like there's this girl from somewhere in the UK that he's painting a picture of. No, he's drawing a picture of her. And I'm going to link you up with Danny, going to link you up with Chris, I'm going to link you up with that lady that I met yesterday. I can't even think of her name right now, but I sent you her
Yeah,
website.
yeah.
But,
Well, I did see her.
Do you have
stuff. Pretty cool.
Instagram?
I do, yeah.
Oh, you never told me that, man.
Yeah.
You never told me. Okay.
Yep, Wade Christian Art.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah, I don't know if it's on my little link tree or not on there that I
Okay.
said it might be, but
Okay. I think I don't know if you already answered this question, but do you like drawing? Do you prefer drawing it out first, or just painting it?
preference wise, I just like to go with it usually. Unless I'm going in with it with an idea in mind. Like I was
Okay.
saying before, if it's commissioned, they have some sort of idea that they want.
Yeah.
I definitely want to draw it out to make sure it's going to be appealing. Because you don't want to start carving on something and then you get halfway and you're like, well,
Yeah.
that's not looking very good at all, you know. So, yeah, it just comes down to the idea behind it. But if I'm doing something where it's like this abstract stuff, I usually just carve it, just
Okay.
kind of wing it, you know, kind of see what comes out.
So what's your overall goal for your painting? Like, would you like to open up your own gallery, or would you just continuously doing what you do but on a bigger scale?
I want to keep doing what I'm doing. Obviously, it'll probably evolve into different directions, different styles. I want to just keep seeing where it's going,
Yeah.
see what changes, and just kind of keep living but making art. Essentially, my goal is to have a nice big studio space someday,
Okay.
and maybe essentially have my own gallery, or maybe have a place where I can have art residencies, have people come and work on art, you know, and
Yeah.
be able to show their stuff at the same time, kind of thing, you know.
Okay.
So,
What about so
big,
like
big goals, you
yeah.
know.
That's what you gotta do, man. A lot
That's
of
right.
people, if you don't set your goals high enough, man, there's really no point. I mean, what do you think about Bob Dylan? He's brought up a lot, man.
What about Bob Dylan? I like Bob Dylan. Yeah.
Is he still alive or?
I think he died actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing his artwork on like KTWU or something like that. He would always.
Are you thinking of Bob Ross? Bob
Is it-
Bob Dylan's a musician.
Oh.
Yeah, Bob Ross is dead too.
Oh damn.
He's the dude with the fro. He's like
Yeah,
happy
yeah,
little trees.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Would
Yeah,
you
I
do
like-
something like that too? Because I know that before we got on camera, you were talking about how you wanted to get a stand, a smartphone stand.
Oh yeah.
To record your work. Like, is that how you would do the process?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it a whole lot. I just want to document the process
Yeah.
and then make it into like short videos for social media,
Yeah.
so I can share my stuff a little more
Yeah.
of the process, you know. But as far as doing a show like Bob Ross, I mean,
Yeah.
it could be fun though, you know.
Yeah.
But with my process, it'd be hard to do a whole piece
Yeah.
in a show wise, where I could do like a segment of the piece maybe, or
Okay, yeah, that's what I was just about to ask. If you would do like a part 1, then a part 2, then a part 3.
be like, this is the painting process,
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah, I think it could be fun though.
Are there any specific brushes that definitely like you would prefer when it comes to painting, or does it not matter as long as you know what you're doing?
With these, I actually don't use any brushes, because these are all, I have like squeeze bottles, like your ketchup kind of bottle, you know. I buy squeeze bottles and I pre-mix all my paint color-wise
Wow.
to specific colors that I have. I hold like 50 bottles essentially,
Okay.
because then I add Floetrol to it, like I was telling you. So I have a whole palette of colors already mixed essentially. Then I squeeze them into the
Are you
grooves.
serious? That's how you do it?
Yeah, and then it's sometimes it goes over the line, so I'll have to clean it up, you know,
Yeah.
with like a little Q-tip, or
Yeah.
I have like these little silicone Q-tips that are reusable, so
Dang. I thought
it's pretty tedious because then you have to let the paint dry for 24 hours or so.
Okay.
But
And it's not like, it just depends on how much you squeeze in there, like also it'd be like super runny, or do you, like when you painted this, was it sitting down flat like this?
yeah,
or-
they're all
oh,
sitting down flat.
Okay.
Yeah, because then it kind of just they level out
Okay.
inside the groove, you know.
Dang.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
I seriously thought it was a paintbrush. That is
yeah,
crazy.
that would be tedious. I don't think.
Dang.
But yeah, it's like it fills up the whole groove
Yeah.
essentially whenever you see it all filled with paint. And then I throw a heat gun over it to get all the bubbles
Yeah.
out of it.
So do you think about like, have you done splash painting before?
Kind of like the fluid art
Yeah.
sort of thing. Yeah. That's where I got the idea to mix Floetrol with my acrylic, because
Okay.
a lot of those fluid artists, they do that and they pour the colors together so the colors don't blend together.
Okay.
And kind of gives it that contrast that you're looking for.
That is crazy, man. That is crazy. What other places locally in town, like, would you want to link up with? Because I know that you said Hobby Lobby probably wouldn't do much, or you don't know if they would do like much for like an actual artist or whatnot, but like,
Oh, there's Rodina's shows art. I mean, the coffee shops do.
Okay.
They do local artists. There's just Strecker Nelson Gallery here in town.
okay,
And then there's the Big Beach Schmidt
yeah, over on campus.
on campus. Yeah.
So, the things that they do at Seco Park, have you thought about doing that too? Like they have like you know what I'm talking about, right? Like they do like
little fairs and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
I mean, I would. I'm
Okay.
definitely open to that. So I just haven't looked into it a whole lot.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be cool.
So how many hours a day would you say you set aside to do your painting? Like, is it the first thing you do in the morning, or do you have like a certain routine or ritual you do before you paint?
I usually read a little bit first thing in the morning,
Okay.
and then
What do you usually read?
I have like a stack of books. I usually have a few going different times. Right now I'm reading Into the Wind, or
Okay.
Wind in the Rock, I think it is, but it's actually about like the Canyonlands area
Oh, wow.
actually, so that's
Okay.
funny, yeah. But I don't always read like nature books and stuff. I just read different things, some psychology,
Fiction, oh yeah.
psychology and science fiction, that sort
Yeah.
of thing. So
Yeah, man. A lot of people don't realize, man. Psychology is what I realized when you deal with a lot of people. Like when I was selling my CDs, man, I could just tell a lot about body language and certain words and whatnot. But psychology is everybody that's living is there's psychology involved in it, man. Like the stuff that we watch on TV, the stuff that we're attracted to, the stuff that we do, everything is psychology.
It
Like,
is.
and it's very deep.
human brains are pretty wild, and trying to figure them out is even wilder
Yeah.
sometimes. So
I realized, man, because I had a panic attack like 2 weeks ago. I thought I was gonna die. This is my second panic attack I've ever had.
I'm glad you did, man.
Yeah, I know, man.
Kill
Thank
over.
you. One thing I've learned is, like I get so like I have OCD. I get so obsessive that I try to keep up with my brain sometimes, and like I'm realizing I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like I would drive myself, like I'd have a short circuit. But like with the OCD thing and everything, I just realized that the brain. One thing I do every morning is I write my dreams. Like, and it's just crazy to me because it's like every night we have something like a weird dream that always has like a storyline to it, and it's like a lot of us don't realize like the creativeness in that alone as well too. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
people get like the book Harry Potter, that came from her having the same dream 3 times in a row, and then she decided to write it. Yeah, and look at it now, like it's the second most selling book in history.
Yep.
You know, so yeah, stuff
Yeah.
like that. Do you ever have a dream and you're like, fuck it, I want to paint that?
I don't know if I've ever painted one. I've definitely like written down a few ideas.
Yeah.
Because they're always pretty bizarre. It seems
Yeah.
like some people have like coherent dreams, where mine's all over the place. Like,
Yeah.
Weird stuff happens.
Yeah, mine's like that too, man. I got bit by a snake last night in my dream.
Yeah,
And David
weird,
Goggins
yeah.
was in my dream.
I've had a dream where I was bitten by a snake, and I swear it felt so real. It was
Yeah.
so crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to research what that meant, but I guess it says that something about health issues, or I'm taking somebody's criticism and all this other stuff, like their words and advice is biting me or something
Yeah,
like that.
the symbolism
Yeah.
behind it, right?
Yeah, man, just dreams like that is crazy. So like with your dreams and everything, like you never like, do you ever like paint something? Because I've noticed this a lot with my brain too. Like I could be talking to, like I'll probably have a dream about something that we had a conversation with and stuff like that. But like, have you ever like drew something and like what you painted was in your dream?
Not that I can recall.
It's crazy. See, with me it does that. I'm probably gonna have a dream about some of this stuff. Like it always
Hey,
happens.
let me know. That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
like, cause
Yeah.
the reason why I had David Goggins in my dream was because I gave one of my friends the David Goggins book to borrow today, and I told him yesterday I'll let you borrow the book. Then all of a sudden I have a dream of David Goggins in it, and like I just think that my mind obsesses over stuff so much that it just deeply gets ingrained in my subconscious, and then when I sleep I have the same dream, you know.
Yeah, you see your brain is
Yeah.
probably thinking about it, even
Yeah.
though you're not.
Yeah,
You're just, like,
I guarantee.
overtime.
Yeah, I guarantee I'm gonna have a dream about someone. I guarantee it.
Hey, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You're gonna get some inspiration.
Yeah,
like, write a
probably.
song or
Yeah, I'll
something.
probably come up with a painting tomorrow too.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So I know that we covered a lot about the painting and whatnot, but can you tell me some of your experiences growing up in Manhattan?
I mean, here in Manhattan, my folks are from Oklahoma.
Okay.
They both came here because my dad got his master's at K-State. He was an agriculture agent,
Wow.
county extension agent for a long time. And then so I kind of grew up around 4-H,
Okay.
and so I have that leadership experience and all the fun project
Yeah.
talks and that sort of fun stuff. And so I used to build rockets when I was a kid,
Oh.
doing rocketry, for
Okay.
4-H, and I didn't really get into doing the animals and that sort
Yeah.
of thing too much, but I did cooking and photography, so
Okay.
kind of dabbled in like a little bit of art there, with the photography was fun. So yeah,
What made you kind of branch away from photography?
I'm not too sure actually. I still take pictures and I
Okay.
enjoy it, just not as passionate as I was then.
Yeah.
Because at that time I was taking like photo classes in high school where you
Yeah.
actually had to develop your film.
Oh yeah, the dark room and everything.
Yeah, it was super fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had enjoyed that class a lot. But people get away from everything's digital. Everybody
Yeah.
has their phone. You get to just
Yeah,
take
I
pictures
know, man.
way nicer on your phone these days. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
I know. One thing about MHS is that they did have some good programs that I wish I would have taken more advantage of when I was younger. Like the woodshop class, I should have taken that.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I agree.
I should have wrestled when I wanted to, but I was like embarrassed about the tights back then. I should have continued the thing with getting on the basketball team. There's a lot of things that we don't realize when we're younger, but
But see, you would have done these things, and you would be probably a totally different person.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah, you're right, man. I honestly think what changed my I don't know if I would say it changed my life, but just that 10th grade weightlifting class is definitely what sparked my bodybuilding, man.
Hey, there you go.
Like, just one class, one time, and I stuck to it ever since.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Have you seen the new MHS lately?
I've driven by, I haven't gone inside. It's crazy looking.
Yeah, I know. They're adding on to what they've already added on to, man. But the funny thing about it is that Junction City High School, they took a shit on MHS. They took, their high school is too nice, man.
Pretty nice status.
Yeah. So you said you built rockets when you were younger. Did you go to Eisenhower Middle School?
Yeah, I went to Eisenhower.
Did you have Mr. Harmon as a science teacher?
I don't think I had Harmon actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was on the other side.
Oh, you were probably green?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I was gonna ask you, did you with your science teacher in middle school, did you guys ever do like the bottle rocket things?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Mentos and like soda and just all
Yeah,
that
I think
stuff?
so,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Man, what got your interest in the rockets though? Like have you ever thought about like what was it that sparked that? TV show, movie or something?
I'm not too sure. I mean, I was always, as a kid, I was always into space, and
Yeah.
I either wanted to be an artist or an astronaut. So
So oh wow. Okay.
kind of two extremes. Definitely, that's more of the science realm. But I
Yeah.
always enjoyed like science fiction and that sort of thing.
Yeah. So have you thought about like painting? Have you painted anything like outer space wise?
Maybe a few times. Not
Okay.
that I can recall a whole lot, but I definitely enjoy a lot of paintings that are like science fiction,
Yeah.
kind of like otherworldly looking scenes
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, pretty cool art.
Yeah, one thing, and that's another thing I've learned too, is just outer space, man. I'm becoming a little bit more fascinated with that. I don't know, man. Honestly, I tell people, I think I'm slowly becoming a hippie. To be honest, I think I am, man. I'm learning more about the world and the atmosphere around us. Like, everything is inspirational. And, like, I've just was doing a lot of research on Tesla and the real Tesla, Nikola Tesla. And,
Yeah.
And, damn, who was the other guy?
Free energy. And all that
Yeah,
stuff.
that guy was ahead of his time. Like,
Yeah.
and we could do that now.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't want to lose millions of dollars, billions of dollars. Like we could run
It's
everything.
suppressed so people can make money.
Exactly, man. That's another thing I learned too. Like with psychology and everything, I honestly believe, I'll say this on camera. I honestly believe that we're suppressed from how great we can actually be. Like
I would agree with that.
I
yeah.
honestly feel like that because it's like, where are these thoughts and ideals coming from? Like it's not like obviously it's something outside of us that's coming to our mind. But a lot of people have great ideals, but they do not put it into action. Like
Well,
imagine, like
yeah.
imagine, like we would have never have known how creative an artist you were if like you would have never painted. Like that's
true.
and everybody else like they don't know how great they are because they're afraid to do something or they're so used to something. Like it's like you're spending your whole life working, but what are you good at, and why aren't you doing it?
Yeah, because we don't live to work.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like
It's
at least we shouldn't be, but that's kind of how it's becoming.
Yeah, it's that's the society's rules, but I honestly feel like we're suppressed. Our body and our mind is like incredible, like so incredible that we don't even know how incredible it is. our body can heal itself. Like I could cut myself right now and my body will heal itself by itself, you know? I don't know. Like I said,
Pretty wild, yeah.
I mean, yeah, man, just the thoughts that come to our mind when we were asleep, when we were awake, just everything. And a lot of the stuff that's conditioning us is the stuff that we see on social media and TV. And then we're all born with natural talents, but how many people get other things brought onto them or the circumstances that they go through and they kind of drift away from it?
Or they're kind of just conditioned
Yeah.
to want to do other
Yeah,
things,
like
sit and play video games all day.
exactly.
That sort of thing.
Yeah, like with my stepson, like we ask him what he wants to do, and he says he wants to be a cop or a firefighter, and that's a majority of what they push on us when we're in elementary school. We don't. There's not a wider thing that we could go into. There's not. It's like everything's so condensed. It's like why not an artist? Why not just anything? You know, and
Yeah, or some kind of like marine biologist, or like there's a whole.
Yeah.
You can be anything, you know.
And then I don't believe in the word unrealistic. I feel like anything can be possible because at one point we were told that it was impossible to run 1 mile in under 15 minutes or 5 minutes or something like that. Is it 3 minute mile? Something like
It's
that.
I know it's down there. Then
Yeah, but
it just gets quicker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. At one point it was scientists and researchers were saying our hearts would explode if we were to run a mile under a certain amount of time.
Boom. Yeah.
And one guy did it in like the 1960s, and then now there's millions of people that have done it ever since. So
Oh yeah.
I honestly believe it's an agenda to keep people not realizing how great they are. You know, when jobs take up a third of our day, and then all these other things, commuting and everything is like, imagine if that's why I love 2020. I love the pandemic. I loved it. Besides the fact that people were dying, but I love the fact that it gave us so much extra time to figure out ourselves. And
People start thinking about things
Yeah.
differently, or actually starting to think
yeah,
about
and
it.
man, there's just so much stuff, man, and yeah.
A lot of craziness for sure. And I think that's like, if people had more time to focus on what their passions were,
Yeah.
I think things would be a lot different, you know.
And that's it, yeah.
Life could look differently.
There's so many distractions nowadays, like you said, with video games and our phones, and like a lot of people are just drawn into stuff that takes away from their creativity. I honestly believe. I see people that are constantly stuck on technology, and it's like you're giving this person all this attention, but you're taking away the attention from yourself. Like this person that you're watching on YouTube or whatever, they're a content creator. They use their creative mind to draw you in, but how are you going to use your creative mind to draw other people in? You know, I just find that crazy. Everything is distracting nowadays. And
I think there could be a perfect balance between
Yeah.
technology and,
yeah,
life in general.
but if you're on it all the
But
time,
it's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, that's why, like, I'm pretty sure, like, when you said, like, you do the backpacking and traveling and everything, that is peaceful.
Definitely.
That is
yeah.
peaceful. You, like, you get more insight within yourself. I don't know, you just get deeper insight. A lot of people don't realize how creative and how, like, to think that all of this could be considered art, too. Like, everything that we're in, like you said, somebody created all this stuff. This was all in somebody's mind at one point, so.
Even though I think in the last 100 years we've lost a lot of beauty in as far as with the architecture and stuff. A lot of the styles of modern architecture, the style itself is called brutalism,
Oh,
and like square buildings that lacks ornate design.
Oh, wow.
Have you ever realized that? You see old world buildings and they're all beautiful,
yeah.
like, shaped and designed,
You're right.
like gorgeous.
Yeah. I've really never, yeah.
Like churches and stuff
Yeah.
like that, but now you see buildings and they're all just squares and they kind of look like prisons. And
You're
so
right.
They're devoid of any emotion, it's kind of sterile.
Why do you think that is, though? Do you think that people are just...
Probably purposefully designed to, make people lack individualistic things,
Yeah.
essentially. So you're just the numbers of them, essentially. So yeah,
Have you
that's a whole can of worms.
Yeah.
So.
Have you thought about glass painting?
I actually used to, in college, I used to paint on plexiglass.
Okay.
Because the acrylic adheres differently to it, but I'd paint it reversed.
Okay.
So you're looking at the picture through the plexiglass,
Huh.
and so I'm painting on the back side. So I do the detail work first, and then layer it backwards, and then you're doing the background last, because it's the
Wow.
big layer.
Okay.
But if there's no room for error because you're doing the details first, you can't really
Wow.
go back, So.
Is that kind of why you don't do that as much? Since
I mean, it just the plexiglass costs quite a bit. That's the main thing, you know. But
So you're willing to pay on anything as long as the customer, hey, like, hey, I want a painting on glass. You do that?
yeah, definitely.
Wow. Okay.
It just with glass, it kind of tends to beat up a little bit more.
Okay.
So it's kind of just a different kind of surface. But yeah, you can acrylic applies to most things and stuff. So
When I hear acrylic, I think of nails. Is that the same material, acrylic nails, or as painting, or no?
acrylic essentially, I think of it like liquid plastic 'cause it dries and it's gonna last a
Okay.
while. So it's like a plasticky kind of thing. Where oil paint, you know, it's a lot more messy and you have to deal with your solvents and stuff,
Yeah.
cleaning it up, and it doesn't dry as fast. But there's also plus sides of oil paint because you can work it and mold it more, and like go back in later on and do like more shading and that sort of thing.
Okay.
And like that's what traditional painters use is like oil painting mostly. Like that's a professional grade thing is oil painting.
How long would a painting last, like on acrylic? Like would that last like
Oh,
our lifetime probably?
oh
or-
yeah, easily, yeah. I'm not sure as far as longevity of acrylics versus oils is, you know, because acrylics obviously haven't been around as long as oils have. Because you have paintings that are oil paintings that
Yeah.
are hundreds of years old and stuff like
Okay.
that. So.
Man. So
which
what
is
about
wild, yeah.
do you do any like I know that you mentioned still painting when you went to college, but do you ever like paint like people, like or animals or anything like that?
You like traditional subject matter or that
Yeah,
sort of thing? I
yeah.
mean, probably not since college, because
Okay.
we took classes in college, like figure drawing, and like
Yeah.
you do like your traditional art kind of stuff, like the staples. Um, that's more traditional, kind of like classical teaching,
Okay.
because you have to know the human form, so that's why they make you do figure drawing, because then you like figure out all the tips and tricks of making a human look like a human, that sort
Wow.
of thing. So.
I know that when my friend went to K State, like she was talking about like I don't know what the kind of painting is called, but basically like you come in class naked and they paint you.
Yeah, it's figure drawing.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Or figure painting, it just
Okay.
depends, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was drawing for us, we all had pencils and that sort of thing, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is crazy they use tubes for that. Like I was expecting a paintbrush, man. That is crazy. Let's see.
The little squeeze bottles work perfectly,
Yeah.
getting the little groove.
When you first started doing the squeeze bottles, was it like, were you like getting it like excessively over to run over, or like right now you know the perfect amount to squeeze it in, or?
Yeah, definitely a lot more errors at the beginning of trying to get it perfect. I still have quite a bit of errors, but
Yeah.
I'm a lot better at cleaning them up.
Yeah.
Now. You know, you get a lot better at cleaning things up.
Okay.
And avoiding them in the first place. You kind of learn a technique. So if for somebody that's trying to do it and emulate the style, like you can definitely do it. You just gotta stick with it and like figure out the right easiest way to do things.
Okay.
And clean up your mistakes essentially. Or I think that's a part of learning is making mistakes.
Oh fuck yeah, yeah.
Because you're not gonna learn anything if you don't make
Yeah.
mistakes, and if you're afraid to make mistakes, you're not ever gonna change and
Yeah.
change and evolve into something better essentially.
That's most people's mistakes nowadays, man.
Not
I feel
not
like
making
yeah,
mistakes.
I think a lot of people want things instantaneously, and you're supposed to start off good at whatever it is.
Yeah,
Like I hear a lot of people talk about like just music, for instance, or you know if somebody comes out and they're not good, oh just quit.
yeah,
But then if you listen to your favorite artist, and then when it comes to like interviews, like I was just telling my friend about this, like Tech Nine, he's a great artist. Eminem, Chameleon, they were all doubted at one point, and look at them now. They're like the biggest artists talked about. Like a lot of people, they have to give themselves room for error. You're not going to be automatically good at something. Like nobody is. Like Michael Jordan sucked at basketball at one point. You know, so a lot of people take that. You know, I don't know, man. Just a lot of human conditioning is like it's kind of sad, man.
yeah. You mentioned those guys, but none of those guys started out
Yeah,
as good as they are now.
exactly.
They put in the time. You know, that's
Exactly.
that's the stuff that most people don't see. People just want the reward right
Yeah.
away. It's like
Exactly.
you got to put in the time if you really want that. You know.
Yeah, you got to have a strong mentality to get through that constructive criticism, that doubt, but also I take constructive criticism is great.
It is.
A lot of people say, "Oh, oh, they're a hater. No, like listen to what they're saying. Like
I encourage it.
You
How are you
know,
gonna get better if you
exactly.
don't know what everybody else wants? You
Exactly.
know? Definitely.
Well, let me check that one real quick. I think the battery's about to die.
It's about to keel out on
Yeah.
Gonna lose the audience going.
We're good. We're still good. I think we got what, 15 more minutes, I think?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, man. Is there anything else you want to cover up before we?
Oh, I mean, we've covered a lot of bases. We're
Okay.
talking a lot of good stuff.
Okay, man. I definitely want to link you up with these people as soon as we're done. Oh yeah, that's another thing I was gonna bring. So I saw this Canadian artist on Instagram. He did like this what's it called? Paid advertisement thing. So he showed up on my timeline.
Oh, he does like the, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was talking about basically like he was showing his artwork and like 6x10 and all these other different frame pictures and everything. And people were asking him like, hey, how much would it be to do this and all this stuff? And he said 3 weeks, but I'm thinking in my head like I don't know if he's actually drawn it, because if you have hundreds of people asking you
Yeah.
to do that, like it would take longer than 3 weeks, right? Like
Yeah, it just depends on how
Like-
much other stuff you're working on.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know.
unless he's like, I don't know, but I don't know. I'll send you the link to that guy too. I don't know. Maybe you guys could contact. But Danny's local, Chris is local, and that other lady is local too, man. And I think that, man, I'm pretty sure that they could, especially Chris. I'm pretty sure they could link you up with some people, and maybe expand your artwork, your audience, networking, and everything. So
Yeah, definitely. I'm always out there to network a little
Yeah.
more and
Oh,
meet
exactly.
new people, and because you never know, it could just find that one person or something. That's why you have to
Yeah.
encourage people to like just get outside your comfort zone a little more.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do anything that you're, you know,
yeah,
you have to do stuff that you're uncomfortable with if you won't expect to change.
exactly.
Face your fears sometimes, you know, even though that's like the the hardest thing sometimes. I think.
But that's what builds you, man. You find more about yourself when you put yourself in those scary situations.
Yeah.
So, last question. Advice to any artist out there, what would you tell them to do?
At first find what you're passionate about, you know, and then stick with it. And no matter what, do it a little bit every day until it becomes a habit. And but yeah, just I think happiness is important. So follow that passion.
Yeah.
Make yourself happy instead of making everybody else happy. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Hey, that was a good one, man. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah, thank you.
I'm going to keep that out because I want to link you up with them before we leave. So,
Definitely.
so that's it for this YouTube one.
All right.
That was-
Very cool.